So, good evening, everyone, and I'm Sandhya Vinakonda, like the lead at DSC VIT Pune. So, I hope everyone here is from VIT because this recruitment is only for VIT students who are in their like second and third year only. Sorry, first and second year only, not third year. So, thank you so much for coming here, and I'm sure all of you want to be a part of DSC, and I hope I see a lot of new faces like in the coming years. So a few things to get started on is that DSC does everything free of cost. So whether you want to be a part of the membership, like many clubs, you can probably expect that there's going to be a membership cost or you have to fill in a form, but there's nothing as such for DSC. You just have to be a part of our Discord channel or our Instagram channel, and we already consider you as community. So you can attend any of the events free of cost, and there is no branch barrier. So even though this is a technical club, we have a lot of non-technical things too. So I mean, it's for everyone. So you can be from any of the departments. There is no branch barrier as far as you're excited to learn and you give your input as much as possible. Right. So how many of you are from FY here? Can I have a show of hands? Like, can you raise your hand? Okay, there are a lot from FY. So this recruitment is mostly for you guys because you must have missed out the August one or like the one we did previously. So we were first planning to do it in August, but then after a lot of enthusiasm was seen from the FY, we thought we would have a recruitment a little before. So let's start with the history of how DSC was formed. So it was first started in 2019 by Shreya Deshpande, and she's currently like pursuing her master's at the University of Florida, which is like the top 5 universities in the United States, public universities. So she also interned and worked at NVIDIA before she went for her master's abroad. And after her was Tanishka Gupta's tenure, and right now she's interning at Goldman Sachs, and she has also got an EPO offer. So the ones who have attended the induction might know like the sort of events that we do. So it's mostly like web bootcamp, or you can say C++ or Embark. So we try to explore all the domains that we have, or we try out new stuff also. For example, we do not have an ML domain, but we also have ML Fest. So we do try things outside our comfort zone, like all the time. So those of you who didn't attend the induction, you can always check out our YouTube channel. It has a lot of videos from the past years. And also like our Instagram channel has the posts about every single event that we did. So or also we have a website so that you can check it out to get more information about our like what DSC exactly does. So yeah, so the recruitment, we are taking a session right now, but the recruitment will start in March. It will be in March. We will keep in mind about your exams, don't worry, but it will be in March. So you can consider yourself of having this whole month for all the preparation that you think is necessary to be a part of the domain in DSC. So I will also specify the domains that we have for the ones who do not know, or you can always check out our pages, which or like our website or anything really has a an elaborated form of how our domains work. But for those who do not know, so we have 3 technical domains: Android, Flutter, web. And then in management, it's divided into four different parts. One is like event management, content, multimedia, and social media. So you can be a part of any of the domains. And do not think that once you're a part of one domain, you're going to stick to that. You get to choose, like you get to move on from one domain to other. So for example, you're working in web development and there's a really interesting project in Android. You can always talk to the heads or talk to any of us. And, there's a healthy relation between all the members and all the domains. So when it comes to the like how the interview process or anything goes, most of you had a question about it. I mean, we have been getting a lot of DMs over the months. So we will just specify it like right now, so it'll be easier. So first is the registration form. We will be circulating a registration form at the end of this session, which will have a few questions. For example, you give there are a lot of descriptive questions, but also you have stuff like you have to put in your resume or you have to put in your LinkedIn URL. So if you are in FY and you do not have a LinkedIn URL, that is fine. You can make an account even if you do not have many things to it, even if you probably didn't work on any projects yet, and that is like totally fine. So just put in how much ever you can give, and we are going to consider the fact that it's been only like a few months since you joined college, and we are going to consider it while recruiting. So first is the registration form. Then after the registration form, we have the interview for the specific domain. For example, you're planning to go into Android. Then we'll have an interview for Android. So the ones who are selected in that round go to the HR round. And like unlike the common misconception that HR round is just for formality, we do filter out kids even in the HR round. So you should also keep that in mind. So there are 3 rounds. One is the registration link, which we will be sharing at the end of the session, and it will be open for a while because our interviews will be in March. So you have time to prepare. And but then the faster you fill in the registration form, it's better. So after that, you have your usual interview and then the HR round. And any other questions you have regarding this, like we are going to specify all of them about the domains, like all of the heads are going to come and tell what is required for you to be a part of DSC's that domain, that specific domain. So any other doubts, you can always put it up in the chat box and we'll take it at the end. Over to you, Saresh.
Yeah, thank you, Sandhya. So Sandhya gave us a pretty good idea about what what DSC is and what we do at DSC. So what exactly we do at DSC is like okay, I'll explain you once again about that. So basically, the main motto of DSC is to support small business startups or something similar. So support interns, we help them with many softwares, let's say mobile application, let's say website, AR, VR, or anything else. So we try to put our 100% in whatever we give. We try to have best outcome from it, and all this is done free of cost. Let's say it's a rule of DSC that whatever whenever you come to DSC, everything is free of cost. Also, in the meantime, we have events, workshops, coding competitions, and many other things to keep you guys stay updated with the Google technologies. So we also try to contribute maximum to the open source technologies, and we use Google technologies in DSC. Also, we do not restrict ourselves to projects and events, workshops. We do various blogs every month. If even if you visit our Medium website, so there we spread knowledge throughout the community through weekly short notes such as technical Thursdays or say anything else. So our community is, we can say, one of the vast community of VIT, and it consists of overall 2,000 members. So to be the part of community, you just have to register for that, or you just have to join the Discord channel or go on Instagram and follow us. So there's no membership unlike other clubs, and most of our events and members are all over the world, and the sessions are almost open to everyone. There are only few sessions like this recruitment one where we're restricted to VIP students. Over other sessions, we are open to everyone. So you can even also include your high school friends. And not only this, but these sessions generally are focused for high school students, even the working professionals who want to grab knowledge about the latest technologies or projects. Also in DSC, we are not limited to app development, rather it be Java, rather it be Kotlin, but like we have different domains like Flutter, then web development, CSS, HTML. Then we also have some other domains, some management domains that include multimedia, वगैरह. And yeah, we work on different technologies as well as Sandhya mentioned about the AR, VR thingy and the machine learning thing. So now we would move on to every domain head and every domain manager to know more about that thing. So let's bring the Android into the picture first. Ansh, are you there?
Yeah, Sarvesh, I guess I am audible, right? Clearly? Okay, you're on mute.
Yes,
So
you
I
are.
guess we can start. So let's start with the Android domain. So guys, my name is Ansh Gaikwad. I'm the head of Android domain at DSC VIT Pune. Next slide, please. So what is Android development like initially? So in layman terms, like Android development is just the process by which applications are created for like the devices which runs the Android operating systems. Like for iOS development, for the iOS operating system, we can call it iOS development using Swift and all. So here in the Android domain, we build a native Android application which are written in Kotlin and Java. We can also develop Android applications with C++ with the help of Android software development kit, but we mainly focus in Kotlin and Java for now. So why Android? I'll tell you guys one thing. Like at the end of 2020, 75% of the mobile market was acquired by Android, and this is still growing on. So, due to this vast majority of users, Android is getting a lot, like hundreds of millions of users worldwide. And there are multiple features about Android too, which let's not get into right now, as it will be a completely different topics. But to mention few of them is like open source, like integration with databases and all, as Google has prepared different libraries for that to make our life as a developer easier. So going ahead, what do we do at DSC Team Android? So we develop various Android application using Java or Kotlin to solve real life problems, like a project which will impact the society, like to solve a problem. We also help some emerging startups by building Android application completely free of cost, like the DigiShop application that we'll be looking into forward. The Android team also conducted the Android Study Jam in the year of 2020, where we learned and migrated toward Kotlin in a short of 2 weeks and delivered it to the larger audience in just a span of short time. All of us were Java developers, and we learned Kotlin as a new technology when Google announced it, and we shifted it to that completely. So that was a great experience to have. Going ahead. Now, this is the interview syllabus. I hope everyone's paying attention right now, although the resources will be shared, but still I would like everyone to pay attention. So the first part is for the first year candidates. So the first years are expected to know the basic programming fundamentals, object-oriented programming, like what are classes, objects, basics of Android development. As you guys have 1 month of time, I guess it is sufficient to build your own Android application if you are getting into Android. Like anyone can learn build an Android application in a week by understanding the basic fundamentals too. So different layouts in Android development, like the constraint layout, frame layout, linear layout, etc. You must also know the activity and fragment lifecycle, like how does a activity gets executed from one moment to another, like what are the on start, on stop methods and all. So for second year candidates which are applying, we are pushing the syllabus up a notch. So obviously the first year syllabus will be there, but adding additional to that, different Android architectures will be asked, their differences, their use cases in different scenarios, like the MVC, MVVM. You must know some of the libraries and frameworks like Retrofit to connect to the internet. Kotlin coroutines is there for asynchronous programming in Kotlin development. You must know the recycler views. You must know basic UI UX principles, like how can you make the UI more user friendly and the experience to be fluent as possible. Later, like how to, which technique do you know about authentication and push notifications? Like there are multiple techniques available. Like some people use Firebase for authentication. For push notification, people use Twilio or Firebase cloud messaging and so on. So I'd like to hand over the stage to Amaya. Amaya, you there?
Yeah, I hope I'm audible.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
are.
so let's discuss about the responsibilities of the Android team member in DSC and its requirements. So, talking about the responsibilities, as Ansh has said, that we do the industry level projects in our Android team or entirely in DSC. So, for that, we need to ensure that we are following the proper methodologies while building the projects. So, we have mentioned some points that will be the responsibility of Android team member. So the first is develop an Android application as per defined specifications adhering to the organization-wide guidelines. Second is to design beautiful UI. Then we have to implement architectural changes as per client requirements, and to assist in evaluating and testing new products and or prototyping, and work on fixing apps defects or bugs. So these are the things that has to be followed by the Android developer, which will be part of the DSC team. So talking about the minimum requirements, we have mentioned some general requirements like good communication, listening skills, and proficiency in English language. So written or verbal. So this is the one point. Then one has to be excellent team player, since DSC is a team of tech enthusiasts. One has to be a good player to be part of the club. and have the ability to come up with the solutions quickly and think through these solutions with others. Third thing is language proficiency in Java or Kotlin. So we know that Java and Kotlin are the languages used in Android. So one has to be proficient in either of them. One has to know the basics of Android development and object-oriented programming. It's fine if you don't haven't got introduced to the object-oriented programming yet. It will be a subject for you in the couple of years, but if you have time, try to learn the basics of object-oriented programming, like what classes are, what objects are, what override methods are, basically the things of object-oriented programming which are required in Android. So try to learn these things. Then there are preferred qualifications. So these are not the required ones, but if you have them, we will consider as a plus. So the first thing is libraries and mobile hardware parts integration. So we know that Android has a very huge set of libraries. So it will be great if you have familiar with the some of them, like at least the famous ones. Then there are databases like Firebase, MongoDB, PostgreSQL, and SQLite. So try to learn what these databases are and how to integrate them with Android. Then there are frameworks and APIs and also the Android architecture. So Android architectures are basically some types can be MVVP, MVC. So it will be like overwhelming for you guys to implement or to work in them, but just try to learn the at least theoretical part of it, like what is MVVP or what is MVC. So these things will be considered in your interview process, and it feels like this is too much for you, it's fine, like just apply to the application process. You will got to learn many things while going through that recruiting process. Yeah, so these are about the requirements. Next slide. uh yeah, let's discuss about the projects developed by the Android team of DSC. So let's go to the first project.
Yes.
Yeah, so DigiShopper was the app built by the Android team of DSC. So it is a complete like end-to-end project that will deliver the products at the doorstep of the customers, and Android team has developed it. So I will give you a brief description about it. So DigiShopper is an online supermarket that enables customers to purchase their groceries, vegetables, and fruits easily. The supermarket grocery products are sold at an affordable price. It also has various offers for its customers. So once the customer places an order, the supermarket through its like established employees avails the products at the client's doorstep at the stipulated time. So as you all know, you can see from the screenshots that it is an end-to-end application to track, to order, to show the products which are available in the market, and to order them. So let's quickly discuss about the features that we have implemented in it. It has real-time database. So the database that varies with the time, it also gets varies. The data gets varied in the app as well. So it is called as a real-time database. Then there is two-tier authentication. Then there is door-to-door delivery, as I explained. It has instant notifications. It has product management at merchant side. It has live order status and cart management. So it is a industry level project that is entirely built by the Android team of DSC. So we built such a projects in the Android team. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, this was also one of the projects that we have built called as Notes Maker. So it is a app. It is an app that was focused on cutting down the long paragraphs and articles into short notes. So talking about its working, it has image input and cropping of images. We have implemented text detection and extraction using OCR model, which comes under the Google Vision API. We had also implemented text summarization with RNN, where we used TF-IDF word embedding model. So finally, the summarized text is converted into a PDF file and stored locally as well as on the Firebase cloud. So yeah, this was about the Notes Maker app. Next slide. Yeah, so these are the resources. So I will suggest you guys to go through these resources if you find that syllabus is difficult, or if you find something that you have to know more. So these are the resources from which you can learn if you have sufficient time. Yeah, so if you have any additional queries, you can put it into the chat box. We will reply as we complete the PPT.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. So, guys, you must have got others of the Android and what are the requirements. The whole of the PPT and whole of the resources would be shared with you after the event, or by tomorrow it would be uploaded on the YouTube, as Sandhya said. So let's now move on to the Flutter domain of DSC.
Yeah. So hello everyone. I'm Pranali Pardeshi, the Flutter head at DSC. So yeah, now as you guys can see, we are going to talk about Flutter domain. Okay. So some of you might not know what is Flutter. So first of all, let me clarify what is Flutter. So Flutter is basically a framework developed by Google, which enables us to build applications. Let it be Android applications, iOS applications. Also, we can build websites as well as desktop application using Flutter. So like it allows us to use the same code like with some modifications, and we can use it for desktop applications and other things as well. Yeah. So this is about Flutter. Now, so what we do at Flutter domain? Okay, so first of all, if you are going to be a part of Flutter team, then as a developer you are going to be work on industry grade projects, right? So yes, we do some exciting projects in Flutter domain. Now, other than that, as a beginner, it would be hectic for you to work on projects directly. So for that, first we perform some basic tasks so that you will get the understanding of Flutter domain, and after that we move on to the industry grade projects, and we have done some really awesome projects during the academic year of our team. Now, other than that, we also participate in some events as well. Yeah. Now, you guys are going to be a part of Flutter team, so let's discuss what are going to be requirements. Yeah. Uh, Yes, so you guys are going to be a part of Flutter team. So what are you guys going to do? So first of all, as I mentioned earlier, you have to work on Flutter projects. Now, other than that, Flutter is kind of famous for its UI. Whenever you design using UI using Flutter, then it seems eye catching. So you have to design beautiful UI. Now, other than that, we are going to work on projects. So you are going to work from prototyping to testing, like from scratch to the end product. So you are going to do the whole product development, and you are going to be part of team, so you have to collaborate with your teammates, so that because being a team player is really important in DSC as well as in your as well as for your future whenever you are going to work in any company. And yeah, as you guys know, we are not restricted to just projects, we do events as well, so you have to participate in club events as well. Yeah, now let's move ahead. Yeah, so you guys, we are going to recruit you for a Flutter developer. Now there is going to be some interview process. So for that, we have designed some syllabus for you guys. Now, first of all, don't get overwhelmed by seeing this syllabus, and we have separated it for first year and second year, so that as first year people are very new, so that's why we have designed a specific syllabus for them. So you guys must have some basic programming knowledge. Now that could be functional programming as well as object oriented programming, because for Flutter we use Dart programming language, and it is object oriented programming based language. So I know you guys might not know about it, but you guys want to be part of DSC, so you have to take some effort. So that's why you will have to search about it. Now, other than that, you must have some basic knowledge of Flutter for first year. And there is some concept of state management in Flutter. If you Google it, then you are obviously going to find it. So just Google it and learn about it. Now, other than that, there are some basic widgets which we require when we are building some UI, when we are building application. Now, these are some basic widget only, like a row, column, list view. So again, just go through it. You will find you will find information about it. And yes, designing UI for application. Now this is like the minimum you should have, and more is the best. So it's good if you know more. Now, for second year, obviously for second year guys, first year syllabus is required, so that's another thing. And now in addition, second year people are supposed to know about asynchronous programming. Now, maybe some of you know about it or maybe not, so search about it. For this we use some kind of things like future, await, these kind of things in Flutter, so you must know about that. Now whenever we build application, we are supposed to work with APIs, so you should know about that as well. Now if you are building application, then it's not possible to build it without without a database. So there are many databases, but we are focusing upon a Firebase, because Flutter has like great packages for using Firebase database. So you must know about Firebase database and its integration with Flutter. And whenever, as I said, you guys are going to work upon prototyping, so for that you must know some UI designing tool like Figma or Adobe XD. It's better to know these things. Now ML kit, so it's kind of optional. Whenever we want to integrate our ML models into a Flutter application, at that time we are supposed to use ML kit. But yes, it is optional, but if you have it, then it is going to be plus point for you. So, and we are going to share resources for this, so don't worry about it. Now I would like to welcome Lokik to handle further things.
Thank you, Pranali. Next slide, please, Sarvesh. So yes, I'm Lokik Awad. I'm the manager here at Flutter in the Flutter domain. So yeah, so again, the basic responsibilities and requirement that we need in our domain. So initially, like talk about responsibilities, like obviously we wanted to develop quality software and web applications. And if you might not be knowing, Flutter has recently released a stable development for web. So now we can also develop web application using Flutter. So that is why, as along with its cross-platform functionality, we can also develop websites using Flutter. So that is one thing that you have to do. The second part is analyze and maintain existing software applications. So as Pranali mentioned, that we already have some projects that we have developed. So you would also be, requiring to maintain those things, or talk to the clients and fix some bugs and all those stuffs. Next is design highly scalable and testable product code. So obviously, like when we're developing code, there are going to be a plethora of bugs that we are going to be coming across. So like you should be familiar with website like Stack Overflow or GitHub to find the bugs. And again, the next part is discover and fix programming bugs. So again, you should be knowing Stack Overflow and all that stuff. Then again, even the same thing like Android, you should be able to design. You will be able to design beautiful UIs and also implement architectural changes as per the client requirements. So if you guys don't know, we also take a lot of like projects from the clients itself. And yes, so like when we are working with the clients, like the clients' requirements can change n number of times. Like they want something one day and something the next day they want something else. So like you should be flexible enough to work as per their requirements. Yeah. So next part is the minimum requirements. So yeah, so as we have mentioned a lot of times, like we expect that we even for the first year students, like we know that you guys have not been gotten enough time to learn new technologies, but these are the minimum requirements also for you guys. So yes, so for you guys, basically the good communication skills, listening skills, and proficiency in English is a must. Obviously, we'll be communicating in other mother tongue languages as we go on, but English is like obviously you might knowing it, but yeah. Second part is excellent team player skills and the ability to come up with solutions. So that is a must. Third is obviously basics of Flutter and OOP. So if you don't know about OOP, guys, you must Google it. We will be sharing resources, but you should be knowing what it is. And the fourth point is exposure and the ability to learn and adapt new technologies. Now, as we have mentioned, like even if you're working in Flutter, there might be scenarios that when you have to use HTML or CSS or even, for example, JS to integrate our code with their codes. So for you to learn these things, you should be always open to learn different things and integrate these things. And preferred qualifications. So well, this is mainly for the SY people. So basically, you should have at least previously developed applications in Flutter using APIs, asynchronous programming, Firebase, the Flutter web, and also the provider packages. So if you guys have built something, then it will be of great benefit. Similarly, you guys must be fluent with GitHub and GitHub and how to use open source and all that stuff. And also you should be aware about the latest technological trends that are happening. So basically these are all the things that we would want you to have when you're trying to apply for the Flutter domain. So yeah, next slide, please. Yes, so moving on to the project development Flutter. So Flutter is relatively new compared to the other domains, but still we have done a good amount of projects. The first, the school app. So as you guys must be, getting into the lockdown and like using Google, like the Google applications or even your VRB or VOLP, you must be knowing like it's still not perfect, right? So like we have developed our own application where you can monitor your attendance, you can check your different scores of the different subjects. Then also like you can check out what's happening next. You can create your own timetable or also a timetable that the professors provide. So this is a very good application for which you can check your details and all that stuff. And we have when we are sharing with this PPT, you'll also find the link over there. So that's a YouTube video. You can go and check it out. Next slide, please. The next is as I've talked before, we can also develop a website using Flutter Web. So yeah, so recently we have also developed a website for our client. It was basically a website for the resort. So for that we have developed a simple UI for them. Basically, you can see there's a home page and then there are rooms and suites, gallery pages, activities, and all that stuff. So this is just the front part. This is just a front UI, front end. But also for the back end, we have the payment gateways, the login and logouts, and also the database management system. So like there are a lot of things that we do in our club. And again, all these things, the UI is developed in Figma or Adobe XD. So if you guys are fluent in those two software, then it's going to be very beneficial. So yes, I guess that is, and the next slide, yeah. So again, these are the references that we would expect you to go into. You would also share a different Word file in much detail about the references, all that stuff. But yes, again, don't limit yourself to just these videos. Go, just explore yourself, go to different courses, or if you're not good with courses, then just go and read blogs. And try to watch videos or even just look at different projects that people have done. So when you do the such thing, then you will be more familiar with the technology and this domain, and then you can do it. And talking about Flutter, this domain, even if Flutter is not booming right now, in a few years, Flutter is going to be like the epitome of every Android development or website. So if you guys know this, it's going to be really beneficial for you. Yes, so that's it from Flutter side. I guess the web team can come ahead.
Yeah, so thank you, Laukik and Pranali. So next we have web domain.
Thank you so much. I'll start. So yeah, welcome guys. So this is Sanket Shinde and I'm a web developer and a core team member at DSC. So we'll just introduce to our web domain at DSC and what we do and what it is all about in web domain. So yeah, so just to brief about what is web development, basically web development revolves around these three languages, HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Tell about web development, we have basically two sides. We have the front end and we have a back end. And the front end basically revolves around the client side, or basically what is visually there to the user, and the backend basically revolves around all the backend server related interaction, all the API calls which goes around in an application. So this is basically a broader version of what web development is. So in web development, apart from these three languages, we have basically on the top of these languages we have basically frameworks, like we have MERN stack and we have mean stack, React and Angular as the two frameworks, and there are many more frameworks which are also there, but like it depends upon project to project like which framework we basically use. So yeah, this is basically a broader version of what web development is. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, so what do we do basically at web team? So basically throughout the year we basically enroll ourselves into projects which are basically from local businesses or startups, and we basically do those projects throughout the year. Apart from these projects, we also have projects of our own which are basically beneficial to the club, or other projects which will be beneficial to other people, and we enroll in these clubs. Other than the projects, we also have basically workshops which run throughout the year. So last time we had web development workshop. There was a boot camp, web development boot camp, and yeah, these are some of the things that we do. And yeah, you'll look about what the projects we do in the further slides. Yeah, next slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically what are we looking for with you? So for the first year candidates, what we are looking are basically a simple basic knowledge of JavaScript, intermediate knowledge of HTML, CSS is okay. Then few hands-on with object-oriented programming, some knowledge of basically database, relational database systems, or a little bit of like some projects, or basically a little project also in web development is okay. Then the understandings of basically how web applications really work, how the whole web development frame, like web development is basically, the basic understanding of that is also okay. For the second year candidates, we have some more things. So we look for basically like basic knowledge of HTML, CSS is okay, but yeah, we also look for advanced JavaScript. Here we expect that you have a strong grasp of ES6 concepts. Experience with MERN stack and mean stack is a plus, obviously. Decent understanding of REST and SOAP services, like implementation, if you have some practical implementations with the REST APIs is obviously a plus one. And the important thing is basically the practical understanding of asynchronous programming, like async and await. You should be knowing this. Yeah, that's for the first and second year candidates, what we are looking for. Okay, so like the plus points, if you have if you're familiar with the frameworks like React, Angular, Vue, that's amazing. Like if you also have an understanding of databases like MySQL, or if you have previously worked on any databases like MySQL, Oracle, or MongoDB, then that's also a plus point for you. Then like if you have like prior projects which are basically related to MERN or mean stack, then you can showcase those two in the project. You can showcase that too in the interviews. So yeah, these are just additional points. It's okay if you don't have them, but it would be a plus point for you if you are applying here. So yeah, that will always have an edge over you. Yep, next. Yeah, so this responsibility. So what we are looking for is basically we are basically looking for someone who can basically like we are not looking for someone who is just going to work on front end or just back end. Okay, we expect that if you have knowledge of front end, you should be eager to work on the back end too, and if you have a knowledge of back end, then you should be eager to work on the front end too. So like yeah, so basically for like apart from just writing code, you should be also able to design the layouts, design website layouts. Then you should be able to maintain those websites. Coding the whole website efficiently is one thing that you should be able to do. So other than this, maintaining the end-to-end needs of the like a client or whatever the project we are working on, writing clearer and efficient code is also one thing. Then yeah, interaction with the databases is something that will obviously be there in all of the projects, so you should be knowing that too. Yeah, next slide. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Sanket. So myself Anjali Devi. I'm also a core team member of web team. So what we have done so far, is like discussion about what are the expectations from you guys. Now we will be discussing about projects that we have done so far. So next slide. So this was our first project that we did, that is the DSC VIT Pune's official website. That you can go on dscvitpune.com and you can check it out, our website. So you can see that there, if you want to know about what are the latest events that are going to happen, or what are the past events, or what are the ongoing events, you can get all of the information of those events on our official website. Along with that, we have other we have whatever projects we do, like as mentioned by Android team or Flutter team. All of the projects information you can go on the website and you can check it out, the projects information. Along with that, we also frequently post our blogs on various technical topics. So those blogs link, you can check it out, those blogs, and can get information of those blogs also from this particular our website. So this was all about the website that we have built. You can go on the official website's link and you can check it out. Next slide. So this was a project which we got from one of the resort, and we had to build a complete full stack end-to-end project, like right from the deployment to scaling, etc. So there was a resort named as Anjan Hills. So we need to build a complete website. So what we did exactly, this was one of the most challenging project, as we can say, in our entire tenure. So in this project, we have to actually implement all the system, like registrations, booking, along a booking of rooms, then along with the payment gateways, then refunding, etc. That all of these things we have integrated it into the website, and along with that we had also some special UI effects and visual effects that we integrated it with the website. So this was another project that we did in the web team. So next slide. So right now there are two ongoing projects which are there in the web. So one of them is certificate generator. Certificate generator that is just to automate the task. Like we want to have various certificates for all of the events that we are taking across the year. So we want to automate the generation creation of those certificates, and that is why we have thought of using this particular certificate generator. So we have used a merge stack in this, and it is just a project that is still going on. And the next panel. So as we know that we have a website of DSCs, but we need an admin panel so we can automate the task, and so by the content team, etc. So in order to simplify all of these things, we need a admin panel which will be dealing with the updation of the content, along with that the front end and back end updation, etc. All of these things will be handled by this admin panel. So that is why we are developing it. So these are the two projects that are going on right now. So this was all about the projects. Next slide. Yeah, so these are the references actually, as you guys are mostly from first year and second year. Sanket has very well explained that what are the requirements. Don't just go through a basic of JavaScript. At least there should be the knowledge that you should have, at least for first years. Second year students, we expect a bit more from the second year students, so that because they have already have a 1 year experience, so they should have at least knowledge of a frameworks or something like that, or have a knowledge about databases and backend. So you can watch the YouTube videos, and you can refer to these blogs always, so you can get more information regarding that. So it was all about the web team. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the chat box.
Yeah. So thank you. So guys, now we would be moving on to, this was about the technical stuff we do at DSC. Now we would be moving on to the managerial stuff and the event and content team. So Ashwini, are you there?
Yeah, I'll begin then.
Okay.
So, hello everyone, I'm Faven Fernandez. I'm the head of content, and we have Ashwini too. She is the management head. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah, so what do we do in the management team? So, as you all know that every club has a management team that looks after the management of events, projects, and so on, like the backbone of the whole club. Yeah, next slide. So the management team is basically divided into two teams, that is the content team and the event team. So the event team looks after the planning and execution of offline and online events, like first of all by creating like what kind of event should go, the requirements for it, the analysis, and we use the agile methodology to come up with events. So the responsibilities of an event manager, as you can see on your screen, is actually plan event, come up with suggestions, coordinate. So it's basically we want someone who's very enthusiastic and also are on their toes 24/7. Because event managers are the only people that have to work around the clock for each event. We do not want people who will give late replies and they're not very interactive. This is all about communication for event managers. Next slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the skills required, as I said, we need people who are good in communicating, who are good in leading, organization skills, problem solving, time and management, and so on. So this is very crucial for event managers, and we'll be choosing people very strictly, because we do not want anyone who is just lazy or what. So, but I do know VIT has great students. You all will be great event managers, being CEO of Google and whatnot. Yeah, so this is about event managers. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah, now coming to the content part. So as you know that since everything is online, the main attraction of any event is what we post on the social media platforms or the websites and so on. So we need the content to be good. We need someone who writes well, who has a sharp mind to come up with good idioms, good phrases to grasp the minds of students to attend our event. The tech team will do great in whatever they do, like creating PPTs, the study materials, and so on. But it is the content managers and the event managers that have to get people to attend the particular event. And this is where, content is really important. It has to be very catchy. So that's why we need people who can develop content strategies, and whatever goes in the Google form should be well explained, well written, so that, people do not have any questions on how to fill the form or whatnot. And we also write blogs. So as you can see, there's a link. We'll be sharing the PPT later. So yeah, we also write blogs, we curate blogs, and it's a very good journey. Even I started as a content manager, so it's really good to be part of this club. Next slide. Yeah. So the skills required for it, basically you do have to know English. That's common. Then also you need to have good grammar skills, creativity, and like in different platforms we have different types of style of writing. So even that has to be there. Yeah. Next slide. So this is just a glimpse of what we'll be expecting you during your interview. So after you register for it, we'll be sending you links after selection. So for event managers, we'll be giving scenarios of like give us a document of how you'll plan and execute an event of Python programming. Then how will you use software development lifecycle if a project is given to you, and then we'll give you scenarios and such to know how you can manage an event. And for content managers, we'll be giving short events, and you have to write content for it, like Instagram poster content or Instagram caption, Twitter content, LinkedIn content, and all that. Yeah. So this is just how will your assignments be. Next slide. So for this academic year, we had around 3 events that we did. So that was Hacktoberfest, Cyber Hunt, and even Engineering 101. So the whole execution of the event or the particular workshop or webinar is done by us. So if you guys really want to build up your managerial skills or content skills, then you got to try us out. Yeah, so that's all from my side, the event and content team. Like, I want Akshay to move forward with it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kavin. So Akshay, there?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes, you are.
Hey, so I'm Akshay. I'm the social media head at DSC VIT Pune, and I'm a part of the multimedia and social media team. And as the multimedia and social media team, we are tasked with maintaining the image and the brand of the club. So whenever you visit any club social media account, you get an idea of how the club is, what it does. You look at the posters and it creates a first impression in your mind. So essentially, we manage these social media accounts and maintain brand consistency among them. So we make posters, reels, stories, etc., etc. And to all this, we have an extraordinary team of people here at DSC VIT Pune. And as for what softwares we use, for graphic designing, we use Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Lightroom, Adobe XD, Figma. And for video editing, we use Adobe Premiere Pro, Adobe After Effects, and Canva. Apart from this, if anyone uses any other software, that's completely okay. And like literally any software works as long as you create a good design. And for video editing also, any software is fine. And if you know anything else other than this, that's also completely okay. And for the responsibilities, as a multimedia coordinator, you will be tasked with preparing creatives, banners, and gifts for digital presence. And you have to work with the content team to create a post. And you also have to pitch design and creative artwork ideas for a variety of promotional campaigns. And you have to stay up to date and informed on new social media trends and adapt accordingly. And you should also be able to amend the designs after feedback. So any changes we tell you to make, you should be like instantly ready to make them in your designs. And also ensure that final graphics and layouts are visually appealing and on brand. That's it for the multimedia and social media domain.
Yeah, so guys, you can also follow us and be a part of DSC VIT Pune by scanning this QR code. It will redirect you to the Instagram page of DSC VIT Pune. Also, yeah, as we previously mentioned, we would be sharing the PPT and the syllabus with you after the event, or it would be the video on YouTube would be out by tomorrow. The links are in the chat box, so you can also directly click on the link and just get redirected from there.
Yeah, and like mentioned before, I'll share the registration link. So any of you who are interested can fill it up. And like I said, there are a lot of questions regarding your resume and things. So it's fine if you don't have a resume. It's optional. So especially it's fine for the FY students.
Also, now let's move next to the Discord QR code. So over Discord, we really have a good community. Your questions would be really answered out there. If there are any doubts, a new thread comes up, and the alumni of DSC that have been in Ola, Uber, or Goldman, and whatnot. So they would constantly look at it, and they would also be very happy to answer your questions. And that's how you get a community built, right? So we would really suggest you to also go on our Discord channel and follow us out there.
I believe most of the questions were already answered in the chat. So if anyone still has a question, please put it up. And like I've mentioned, the registration link is in the chat box.
Yes, so also I'll repeat some few of the questions once again. So does VIT charge for DSC charge for money for such projects? No, Aryan, DSC does not charge for any of the projects. As I previously said, you can consider this as a motto of DSC, that everything which whatever comes to DSC is all free of cost, and whatever the knowledge is given out of DSC is also free of cost. So you never need to pay for DSC. Ansh, are you there?
Yes, I am. So the next question was, do we need to have a complete knowledge of Java for Android development? So as I answered the question roughly, let me elaborate on that. So basically, Java is required for uh, any Android project that you are working, like Android development that you are doing using Java, because the concepts that you use are the same only. But you can so Java is required, but you can skip some of the topics, like there is JDBC, like some of the collections data structure that we don't actually need in Android development. You can skip that JDBC. You can skip the UI part, like AWT swing. There is Java FX too. So the advanced part you can skip, like the networking part too. Other than that, like the basic inheritance, like how what are abstract classes and all, that you have to prepare.
Yeah, thank you, Ansh. So the next question is about the Flutter development. I guess Pranal has already answered the question. Rajkumar. Yep. So is syllabus applicable for FIMCA? Sandhya?
Yeah, this is also like answered in the chat box. But then for MCA students, it will be SY syllabus. So SY BTech syllabus that has been mentioned.
Yes.
And I think most of the questions are answered, but then we have a new one, like a few new ones right now. Are you going to recruit FY and SY together? Yeah, the interview will be at the same time, but then we will make sure that we know who's FY and SY, and the questions will vary accordingly. Are there any perks of DSC? What do you mean? Certificates or like other than knowledge? Does normal machine learning have part in DSC? So we do not have a domain as machine learning, but we also have events, or most of our projects are also related to machine learning. So you can be a part of any domain and be a part of the project or the event as well. You can teach at the ML Fest, but you can be from one of the domains that are already there. So we do not have a different domain as machine learning. And there is a chance it might be there in the future, but not as now.
Yeah, Pranav. So as you mentioned that they would be having an advantage over the FI students, as the portion is different for the FI and SY. So we would keep in mind this thing that you are a FI guy and the aspire students are asked questions accordingly. Like this things would be considered, so you don't need to worry about this.
There's a question, can we change our domain afterwards? So this hasn't been done before. You can change from one year to another. So like if you're in Android this year, next year you can go into Flutter or something like that. But like I said, you don't really need to do that because you can work on any project from any domain. So you can be like, one will be your home domain, and at the same time you can keep experimenting with the other domains. And there's another question, do we have to use college mail or personal mail to fill up the form? That's up to you, because we are just going to use it for emailing you the interview link or something in future. So whichever you check regularly would be better.
So
There's-
about the deadline for the recruitment form. So guys, it is not decided yet, but roughly we'll be having your interviews in the March. The registration form will probably close a few weeks or few days before your interview. And just keep in mind, the earlier you fill the form, it's better, because the better will get time to schedule your interview accordingly, and all your exams and all your academic stuff would be kept in or would be considered while assigning you the time for interview or while getting your schedule ready for the interview. So don't worry about that.
And there's one question, can you elaborate about third HR round? So if you guys know how the interview process usually goes at a company, HR round is usually about a behavior round. We'll be asking you questions about how you would act in a team. Like, we want to figure out whether you are a good fit for DSC or not in terms of behavior. So even though your technical skills might be really good, you might be someone who works independently, or someone who doesn't want to adjust. Then that would be a problem when it comes to a team, right? So these are the things we are going to look out in the HR round.
Yeah, so the next question is, project management comes under the management domain, or every domain manages by the project? So actually it comes under the domain which the exact project manager for that particular domain comes under that domain. Like, you should have the knowledge about that domain, right? Because say if you are getting some project for Flutter, so you should at least know that whether that project could be done by using Flutter or not. If the client wants it to be done by some other way, which is not even available in the Flutter, so you don't have option there, right? So the domain manager is under the domain only.
There's one question, can I apply for more than one domain in recruitment process? Yes, if you check out the form, first you have to choose one domain, and then later on you have a choice of choosing other domains that you're interested in. So if you're not fit for the first one, you can go on to the second one, and etc. So we're pretty flexible when it comes to choosing the candidate, so do not worry about that.
So if you have a good knowledge about data structures algorithm, then is it beneficial for the interview? See, I'll not say it is directly beneficial for the interview, but yeah, it could be beneficial for the interview. It totally depends upon what questions you ask. The way actually data structures and algorithm is used for the way you move towards solving a question. So it totally depends upon the way how you see a question, how you solve it. So maybe it can be beneficial, but it is not guaranteed to be beneficial.
And is there any membership for DSC? No, there's no membership. You just have to be a part of the Instagram community or the Discord community, or both. So that we consider it as membership. So since we do not have any special offers for the members, because everyone is the same, and from any domain, anywhere across the world. In fact, we have a lot of international participants when it comes to attendees when it comes to events. So there is no membership, and it's free of cost if you want to be a part. Where is the
Yeah. So let continue, please continue.
where is the form link? I'm putting it there. If you mean the recruitment form.
And yeah, guys, we'll also be putting the form link in the YouTube description, so you can also check it out there. Okay, yes, GR number is PNR number only. So
I want to one question.
Yes, yes.
For GitHub and that
LinkedIn.
links.
LinkedIn.
Yes. What links we have to do?
See, do you know what exactly is GitHub and LinkedIn?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you don't have any account over there right now, just temporarily create any account over GitHub or LinkedIn, because see, this is the way we move towards this platforms, right? When I was in my first year, I was also not known about this GitHub and LinkedIn. DSC was a way through which I got to know about this platforms, and then I developed myself over there. So I would suggest you to at least create account for now and just put up the link which comes into the URL after creating your account. That would be fine.
Yeah, so like when you create an account and you go into your profile, at the top there's a URL. So that is your LinkedIn URL. So that you will have to put in, and the same for GitHub. And there's one question, according to you, when will the ML domain be included in DSC community? So not in our tenure as of now. Like we might include it, but it's not sure. And maybe the next lead might include it. So we can't really say for sure.
Does normal machine learning as a part in DSC? So normal machine learning means we surely planning to have ML fest soon. So even in that, we would be teaching the machine learning part, or the machine learning domain would be explored pretty well. So you guys can also attend the next upcoming event. And I would say that would be very beneficial for you to know the culture of the club, know what things we do at DSA, and you would be observing that thing in terms to be a part of that club. So it would be more like of you, like you will follow the culture of that club. So I would strongly suggest you to attend the upcoming event, whatever event it may be, but just attend the events, and after that, while recruitment, it would for sure it would be very beneficial for you.
There's a question about the meeting recordings. So we will be sharing the, like not the recording, but we are going to put in the main part in the YouTube. So if you still have any doubt, you can feel free to reach out to us. But other than that, I think it pretty much covered everything. And yeah.
By perks, perks or something. See, what perks you get is at last you would be. For me, what I would say the perks are getting enough knowledge, getting interaction with other alumni. We don't exactly get a physical stuff, but yes, if you are asking about the certificate, at the end of the tenure, you obviously get a certificate for the years or the tenure you are working for. For that, you will get a certificate. Then I feel what is the most important thing is contact with the community, and that for sure is guaranteed in DSC.
And like guys, as you go on with like through your college years, you will be noticing one thing, that technical knowledge is obviously important, but along with technical knowledge, you're managing skills and your communication skills and your network. These are the things that is going to get you placed in top companies. And if you are a part of a developer community, then it's really going to be helpful for you, like if you're building a resume or to put this in a resume, or even to build a global network, because networking is like, it's really important for you guys, and you will soon start to realize that. So yes, that is one thing.
Yeah, so there's another question, that are there any coding questions in the interview? So not exactly a coding questions, but you may be asked to explain the concept or a type, like what method would you use to solve this problem? Just a type, not exactly a coding question type of thing.
And mostly we'll be asking you based on what you're comfortable is with. So if you say that this is how much of Java I know, we will be asking you questions based on that more than like normal stuff. So it is fine if like just prepare how much ever you can before the recruitment starts, like once you refer to the syllabus and the resources. And if you still have any doubts, you can contact like any of the heads. And you have seen all of us speak now, so you probably know the names, so you can contact us or you can message us on Instagram or email us. And there's one question, can we join one technical and one non-technical domain? So this hasn't happened before, and it usually it's sort of like, even if you are in a technical domain, you help out with all the aspects of the club, which also includes the non-technical parts. For example, you're in Android and you're good at content or you're good at management, you can always give out a helping hand. So we kind of consider that, but we do not consider it being in separate domains. There'll still be an Android, but you'll be helping out with the others. And if you really want to be a part of two different ones, it's actually difficult to handle it. But if you are an exception, then we will make an exception.
Yes. So, Pranav, as of now, we haven't decided how many students we would be selecting or how many students we will be recruiting. But soon, like, we'll let you know, or you may interview yourself, and then it might be decided afterwards. Like, if we feel that really the number should be great, we would for sure recruit more students.
Let me take up the last question, I guess. So for someone who is starting from basic knowledge for Android development, which language would you suggest, Java or Kotlin? So if you're starting and you're pretty much focused on Android development only, I guess you can start with Kotlin, as it is much more easier to write than Java. Because in Java, you have to write a lot of big stuff, and that is made all easier in Kotlin.
Usually by portfolio, some people have websites in which they have their projects and all. So if you do have it, you can put it up. If you don't, it's fine. Like, there's a separate link for resume, like LinkedIn URL and things. But then if you have a portfolio, you can put it up. It's not compulsory. And like we said, we are going to take the FY1 a little, we are going to notch it down a little bit, like the interview process, because we understand that you have only been here for a month or so. But if you really want to be an exception, you should start studying because you have a month.
For the FI people who are starting now, I will suggest you one thing, that by the time the recruitment starts, try to at least complete one project in your desired technical domain, because that will have a huge impact for your recruitment process. So like, if you have at least one project that you have done, it will be really good. So yeah.
Like mentioned before, we will be sending you the PPTs through emails, and we will have we will also have it on YouTube. So you do not have to worry about the resources. And if you still don't get it, you can message us after a few days on Instagram or email us, and we will send it to you. Okay, so are you asking for like portfolio? If you want to put up the codes of your project as drive link in your portfolio. I mean, it's fine if you don't have it. Like, there's actually another question. If you see, like, if you go through the form, there's one more question that is asking for links for your projects, like a public link for your project. So you can put it up there, and make sure it's not restricted to anyone. Make sure like any of us can open it. And any other questions while filling in the form, feel free to reach out to us. You can work on your personal projects as well, or it's fine if you do not have any projects. But it's better. Like, it helps in the process of interview. When you have a project, you can show that you have actually implemented it. So it will not be just your theoretical knowledge that we look at you with. So yeah, we know about the NSEM projects, EDIs and all, but if you work on a personal project in this 1 month, that will be even better. So it shows us your commitment. Like mentioned, the registration form closing it is not decided yet, but we will let you know beforehand when it's going to get closed. And like we said, it's in March, so you have enough time. You have enough time, so you can assume that we will keep it is going to be open for a long time. I can't tell you the exact date because it has to be discussed, but it's going to be open for a long time. So don't worry about that. And in case you do not fill it in the registration form. During the interview, you can or like show it to us or tell us about it, or you can put up the link in the chat box while we are taking the interview. So don't worry about the way to tell us about it. Yeah, you can actually put it as incomplete about your ongoing project. In case you're dating your projects, you can put it as like you started it from when and that it's still going on. So that should be fine. But
Yeah. So,
hmm.
yeah, please continue.
Yeah, so whatever project you are going to put, and if it's related to your domain, we are going to ask you questions about it. So make sure you know it well.
This link will be closed tomorrow or today. Registration.
No, we'll keep it open for a while. Like you can assume, like at least for a week. This week, though, it's going to be open,
Okay,
and
thank you.
longer, in fact. So you don't have to worry because it's going to be in March, and we have to do publicity about it again. So don't worry.
So guys, as I think everything is done, we must conclude the session now. If there are any more if there are more questions, you can directly DM us on our Instagram handle. Feel free to reach out there. So yes, now you guys can leave. Thank you everyone for attending the session.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you
Thank
guys.
you all.